Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time, but today I'm back with a video. But today won't be about EVs. It's going to be about solar generators and my solar panels. I know I've showed it a few times in my videos, but I've never actually made a video about it. And you guys have been asking a lot about them. What are you doing? How are you doing these? How are you powering your house in terms of blackouts? And what kind of setup do you have? So today I'm here to show you guys a little bit what I have in the back. So this is my Ecoflow Delta Pro Ultra, which is a solar generator, or let's call it a solar inverter and a battery here. And we have a smart panel here, which is the Ecoflow Smart Home Panel 2. So these are CSA certified, UL listed as well for Canada. So since I'm in Montreal, Quebec, really strict on these rules on what solutions you can use. So this is approved for Canada. And this is also approved and it's usable in Canada as well. Well, this is a generator pretty much, and a portable one. Well, as portable as you think it might be, it's extremely heavy. But this what helps me power my house when there's an outage, or when there's not, I maximize it with the solar so I can reduce my bills with the utility here in Quebec. So let me show you a little bit what kind of panels do I have first. So I'll show you the panels I have in the back, the panels I also have in the front. I do have limited space for panels because I'm in a place where I have a lot of trees. I'm in an urban area. I also have a lot of neighbors as well, very close by. So I want to make sure I don't disturb my neighbors. At the same time, I want to make sure that the panels blends in within the environment that I live in. So my panels are all black. So there's specific reasons why I chose those colors. And there's also a lot of shade in my around my house because there's a lot of big trees. So I had to be strategic on where I put these panels, and trying to get as much sun I can get, but at the same time, I'm very limited. All this because I want to avoid also putting these panels on the roof. That's something because since I'm doing most of the stuff by myself, it's a DIY installation. I don't want to put anything on the roof. The roof starts leaking, then there's bigger issues. Since this started as a hobby, I just kept going on, and then I'm just putting panels wherever I can. But at least I'll get to show you guys my setup. All right, so let's go check the panels in the back, and then afterwards the panels in the front, and I'll come back here to show you guys the setup. So these are the panels in the back. So by the time I got here, it started raining. So the panels in the back, I also have 6 of them. These are high voltage, so this is plugs into the high voltage. Why? Because they're all in series. So that means they're all connected to each other in series. So that increases the voltage, but not the amperage itself. So these panels are the last 2 addition because I needed to find space. I can't really put them anywhere else. There's a lot of shade here. So I've calculated everything. I watched where the sun hits, and this is a perfect spot. So, and no, these panels do not shade these ones. They're angled and they're put in a way that it doesn't affect these panels. So they get full sun exposure, because the issue with solar panels, the slightest shade you have, and it just really doesn't perform. So this is the back, and this one also has all the wiring done here. So it goes to this box here. So this is a 6x6x6, and then afterwards goes underground here, and then it goes all the way. You kind of see a little bit, I just recently did it, and it goes all the way to the house where the Delta Pro Ultra and my panels are. So this is a mount that can accommodate 4 big panels. So these are 450 panels, and they're bifacial. So different between bifacial, as you can see through these panels. So the backings also have cells, versus these ones are not bifacial. So that means only one side can actually capture the sun and not in the back. So these are, as you can see, solid frame here, versus these ones you can see through them, and there's also cells in the back that can capture the light. Best practice would be put something reflective here, so I can reflect back and then go here. But since these are hiding the sun here, I'm not sure, so I'll still have to look what I'm going to do. And these are 6 by 6, and also I believe these are 2 by 6, and I put them together. um, I dug up and we went below the frost line as well. The last thing that's left to do is also ground all of these systems. So I do have a rod here, but I can also connect to the house grounding system as well. Since these cables actually go to the house, I can actually connect them to the wires here, and there's enough gauge as well. These are 10 gauge wires, and I left one extra as well, so I can actually ground something here. So yeah, so these are the 2 panels here, and then I have 4 panels here. These are, like I mentioned, non-bifacial, so just the front. And these are actually bifacial panels. The angle are different because these ones, I put them at 21 degrees, or if you calculate the other way around, at 69 degrees. Why? Is because we're almost in winter. As you can see, the leaves are falling down. So winter time, usually you want them at a certain degree. So this is 69 degrees. So for the winter, these ones are still in summer or spring angle. So I just need to lower them, and I can do that with these settings here. So as you can see, I can go all the way here. It's not perfect, but at least for winter, this is better. So I can do that for all of them and just bring these down. They're adjustable. Yeah, so that's the setup in the back. And then after you have the setup in the front. So this is the front of the house where I have the low voltage strings going in. I really don't have space on the property where I have no shade, and this is the best place where it's facing south and I get the most sun. I try to be as discreet as I could with the installation of these panels. That means not being angled. I am facing the street here, so I just don't want to disturb the neighbors as well. Just want to try to be as sleek looking as possible. So I didn't want to angle them, but you can still tell there's solar panels, obviously, but just try to blend it in. Why I left that gap at the bottom is because I do get a lot of snow here. So I just want to be able to shovel without damaging the panels. And also when I'm cutting grass, it's going to be easier as well. And I do have a sprinkler system as well. So one's located right there. So when it pops up, I just want to make sure like it's not disturbing the panels as well. So I have 4 here and 2 here. I did not add a third one there because this is a low voltage. So what I have to do is usually I have to respect the 150 volt for the Delta Pro Ultra. And the issue is 150, and that's not the max because I live in Canada. We get really, really cold temperatures, minus 25 degrees Celsius at times, even minus 30. It's rare, but it does happen. So I have to reduce the voltage. So I can only do 3 in series and 2 in parallel. That's the best I found, and that's 6 panels. So if I want to add a 7 one, it won't really work unless I get a high voltage string going in. But the high voltage is in the back, so this is the front. So how it's wired is these 2 panels are wired with the right one here because that's the most sun exposure I get throughout the day. And I didn't want these panels, once it starts shading, I don't want it to affect the top panels where it's still getting sun. So 2, 1 here, and these 3 are together in series. Eventually, if I want, I can get a microinverter or an optimizer, but this is a simple setup I have going on for the front panels. So these are all, I believe, 355 watts panels from Longi or Longi, however you want to call it. And the top ones are also Longi, but they're 405 watts, I believe, panels. So I bought them at different times. These were used ones, so I got a good deal. You can mix and match panels, but you have to take into account that there's going to be some decrease in performance in terms of voltage or amperage. You want to be as close as possible when you buy your panels in terms of specs. But if you don't have a choice and you have a really good deal, just go with what you can. So I also want to show you guys from the back. This is how I install the panels. There's a rack there. There's a mount that I bought online. I'll put that list, that link in the description. So that I bought it off Amazon. And then the panels in the back I bought it off, I think, from Signature Solar in the States. And this is pretty much where most of the wiring comes in. So since I have panels here, since this was done recently, I still haven't done cable management. I'm still testing it out to see if everything works well. If it is, then I'll be a, a cleaner installation here. For now, they're just going in temporarily in this. These This tube is from panels from the back that's coming in the front. If one day I want to combine them here, so that's a possibility. So I still ran the wire. They're really in the back there. So it's from all the way there underground. It comes here and then it goes up. And then there's strings coming here. They're 10 gauge wires. They're inside and they're ready to be used if ever I want to put them in series from the back and the front. Then you have tubing that's going up there too. Try to be as weatherproof as possible. I could have done a better job, guys. You can judge me on this, but I've done this pretty fast, so I just left it there for now, but I'll have to do it properly. And then this one is what goes to the house. So you have this pipe here that goes all the way to the house. So that's one of the string for the low voltage. And then you have another one in the back that's also conduit that goes from the back to the house as well, like I showed you. So this is broken. I'll have to fix it, possibly change the box as well. I don't really need it to be weatherproof. I just don't want, like, animals or anything going in and chewing the wires. So it's one of the reasons I got this. And if I had to do it again, I would have done it like the one in the back. So this is 6 by 6 by 4. Next time I would have gotten a 6 by 6 by 6, so more depth, so I can have more space for connections here. It just gets messy in there if you want to do branch connectors as well. If not, it would be a PV combiner box, which could have been also an option. But since I was starting out, this is what I got first, and eventually I'll upgrade the system. So this is where the low voltage comes in. So it's a string here. You need to use the proprietary from Ecoflow to plug in this. And if you can check here, we're getting 1,663, almost 2,000 watts here. And that's the high and the low voltage at the same time. So that's going to be, in the app, you can tell exactly how much is getting from the low voltage and how much is getting from the high voltage in the app. But here you just see the total number here. The other one you see here, that is the high voltage here. The high voltage, like I showed you, it's the panels in the back, and that's the one coming in. I did put a breaker for that one. It's still not finished, guys. I need to be up to code, so I'm still doing stuff. I did put a shut off here in case I want to shut off the strings, the high voltage strings coming in. In this case, I bought this on Amazon. I can put the link in the description. It comes in here first, and then afterwards it goes to the Ecoflow Delta Pro Ultra. So that's what the setup is. So this is one battery, 6 kilowatt hour, and the inverter is the Delta Pro Ultra, which can do, I think, 7,200 watts. And in terms of solar input, it can do 1,600 watts from here. And I think this is 4,000 watts. So in total, 4,000 plus 1,600, 5,600. You have limitations in terms of voltage here, which is 150 volts. You have to calculate that with the temperature coefficient as well. And this one here, I believe, is 400 or 450 watts. I mean, voltage. I don't know if it's written here. There you go. It's 80 to 450. So that's what it says. And the low PV is 30 to 150. And you also have a switch here. I don't like to use this. I feel like it might actually break. I'm not sure. It feels sturdy, but still at the same time, you don't want to be, always turning on and off this one. I've heard also on online some people having issues with these. So that's why I also have a disconnect here. So much easier if I want to disconnect it. And of course, how is this plugged in to the house? So that's the next question. So this is what I use here. So this cable plugs the inverter to the battery, and this one, I believe it's called the power in, power out cable, goes to my smart home panel 2 from Ecoflow. So that's plugged in one of these ports. You can choose whichever you want. Since it's a little far, I didn't put it underneath here. I put it on the AC3 here, which is the closest, but you can put it in any of these. You just have to remove the cover here and you can plug it in. So how is this powered to the whole house? So what it does is, let me show you. This is also connected to the grid. So you have power going in from here, which is, let me show you, the 100 amp breaker here powers all the way here. So this is the grid coming here. So I put two breakers here, 400 amperes. And these are the critical load that I moved from here to power the house. So these are everything that's 120 in the house. So you have the refrigerator, you have lights, you have the internet, you have the television, you have literally everything in the house that's running on 120. It's in these. I use tandem breakers to save a little bit of space. And then you have one thing here. It's my first try with the 240. It is the dryer. Since I do generate enough solar and I don't have enough battery to store them, I try to use the dryer whenever I can to use that excess power that I cannot store. One of the options could also be with an EV charger, but and possibility is getting the Ecoflow EV that can actually charge your car when there's a surplus of solar and your batteries are getting full. So you can put rules to charge or discharge the battery or even charge the car according to what the state of charge of the battery is. And that's really interesting, but you do have to buy the EcoFlow charger for that, which I don't need because I already have a Tesla charger here and I have another charger outside as well. So I don't want to be changing chargers just for that. But I know there are other possibilities with the new gateway as well, I believe. You have smart breakers that you can use as well. So I'll have to work with that. So that's the connection here. So what happens? How do you power these? So what happens is if the battery, I'm on self-powered mode. So that means I try to use everything I can from the solar and try to put it to the house. But sometimes there's not enough battery. So anything under 10%. So if the battery is 10% or lower, it kicks into grid mode. So that means it seamlessly switches from battery powered to the grid power, and you don't even feel it. There's not even a flicker, it just changes seamlessly. And at the same time, when you're at 30% or more battery, so let's say you've gone through the night and in the morning this recharges to 30%, it switches from grid to the actual battery here. So everything is done seamlessly, guys. So I don't even have to do anything at all. I used to have a manual transfer switch where I would try to maximize my usage of my Delta Pro generator, solar generator here. So every time at night I would come, hey, do I have enough battery for the night? If not, I just switch it manually back and forth from the grid to the, from the battery to the grid and the grid to the battery every day. This does it for me. Even at 2 a.m., if it's not enough battery, I'll switch the grid and everything will be still powered on in the morning. So that's really, really easy. And that's where, the EcoFlow ecosystem actually shines because they work together, they talk together, and it actually works out and it's just so much easier for you. So that's it. So that's where my setup is. Obviously, I'll need more batteries because I'm actually generating 3,000, between 3,000 and 4,000 kilowatt usually of solar that's coming in. And per day, I think I produce around 15 to 17 kilowatt hours. So clearly not enough with the amount of battery I have. I only have a 6. I'll probably need double or even triple to be actually pretty good with the solar production I have. So this is the Ecoflow app. Like I showed you guys, you get a lot of stats here that you can see. You can see how much solar is coming in, how much the house is consuming. As you can see, since it's 30% and more, I'm not taking anything from the grid. Everything's going from the solar and from the battery as well. In this case, you can see how much solar generation you have, the loads, how much power you use from the grid, and also the savings. I don't have a lot of savings because one, I don't have enough battery, and I don't store enough to actually have a lot of savings. And second of all is my electricity is super cheap here. I'm paying roughly 4 cents, Canadian cents, per kilowatt hour. So very, very cheap in terms of electricity. So I'm not aiming this for savings. It's more for resilience, making sure that and I have enough power in case of outages. We do have a lot of outages, like I mentioned. So yeah, so the other thing I want to show you guys is when you go into Delta Pro Ultra, you can see exactly how much you're getting from the high voltage and also the low voltage panels here. I mean the strings. So as you can see, 255 around for high and 355 for the low voltage. And also you can go into these lab features and you can see exactly how much voltage and amperage you're getting from these strings. So this can help a lot when you're doing, testing out series or in parallel to see exactly what's working out. So this is one of the features I actually use whenever I'm trying to change configurations. And you do have a lot of settings in here where you can go into the operating mode. So you have the self power, you have also the scheduled or the time of use. That's actually for those who have different rates, fluctuating rate depending on time. You also have different backup options. This is useful when there's a storm coming up. You can charge your battery at 100% and keep that battery in case of an outage. There's a lot of features here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see a little bit, how the app works and how things are. And the last thing I want to show you guys is the consumption here. You can see exactly how much is being consumed per circuit, so which is very useful because you can see exactly what's consuming the most power at what time, and you can actually click on each one of them here and see a little bit the history of it, depending on what time, what day, so you can actually plan these stuff better. It gives you more data and analytics. So you can maybe switch some circuits, make sure like you have enough battery or you want to deplete some stuff. You'll know exactly what strategy you can take with this data. That's it, folks. That's all for today. So this is my setup. Obviously, it's a DIY setup. I've learned a lot of it from YouTube, a lot of articles, and I asked a lot of questions to different experts to find out what's the best setup for my needs. So if you want to do this, make sure you read a lot, you watch all those videos, but also comply to code where you live. Anything related to electricity, you want to be careful with this. Especially with the products you buy, you want to make sure they're UL listed or CSA listed as well. And anything related to electricity with AC current, you want to make sure an electrician is involved for installing most of these stuff. There's a lot of things you can do by yourself: installing the post, installing the solar panels, the mounts, even the wiring till you get to the Delta Pro Ultra. It's all doable DIY, but you just want to make sure you follow code in the conduits you have to use, the gauge you want to use, and finally the panel. You cannot replace it yourself. Usually, an electrician does have to do it depending where you live. So you want to make sure you comply to code. And like I said, this is a DIY solution. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of experts out there. If you guys have advice on how I should do things maybe differently, if I should look into other solutions, please let me know in the comment section below, or any other videos you want to see in the future or more details of my setup. Please let me know and I'll try to make another video of it. My next step is looking into expanding this system. I'm still not sure if this is the right ecosystem for me, if Ecoflow is the right thing. I've seen a lot of hybrid inverters out there, even off-grid inverters that are more powerful, and you can expand more without actually breaking a budget, spending a lot of money from your bank. So there's a lot of solutions out there. There's EG4, there's Solarc, a lot of other solutions that look interesting, looks promising, and actually are budget friendly as well. But those are not plug and play systems. You do have to configure a little more. You have to learn a little more about how these connections work, versus Ecoflow is just a plug and play ecosystem. So it's pretty much like the Apple of the industry. So where everything just works. You just plug it and it works. The app works. Everything is just. There are issues. I'm not saying there aren't any. Sometimes there's little bugs here and there, but they're just DIY friendly. So yeah, so I'll let you know if I do upgrade my system or I change my system. Until then, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.